My favorite retreat activity is when we saran wrap Chris to a board and shave his head. And by Chris, I mean Chris Campbell, the director of the program and chair of the department.
This is an exhibit that celebrates 21 years of the Community Environment Planning Program.
Chris said on our very first day, this is your major. And that's a really big deal. Even though this might not carry into the rest of our lives, it absolutely is what we're now built on. So having been built on the ground of CEP with my cohort, with all of this support, I feel that I'm part of a stronger community than I've ever found before.
One of the things that I saw right away, I think it was a 2005 class or something, where we were talking about changing the grading policy. And again, we know this is a fundamental piece of this program. I was always on the side of no grades because I believe it's harder. It's easy to live in that world of I'm going to get an A or I'm going to grade myself, but to me it's much more challenging to be on the other side of the fence.
I think the really unique part of CEP is that students are part of a decision-making process, and they learn a whole raft of skills that many students are not exposed to until they get out into the working world. So they develop their own retreats, they do their orientation, they plan senior project night. So they are doing, and they also look at the governance of their program, and sometimes have gone through very lengthy discussions and analysis of changing policies and grappling with, what's fair for the program or what needs to change because their circumstances are changing. So I think that, that is very unique to this program.
Every single year has some kind of new, unique piece that each and every individual student adds to it. And that's what's really unique about CEP, and that's one of the things that drew me to this major.
The thing I've seen so far, I think in this exhibit, would definitely be kind of the impact of every senior project. There's no really major out there that can quantify what they've done like CEP. I think it's very clear when you see just over the years what a huge impact each student has had, and it's so tangible. No other major can really do that like CEP can.
What did I learn from CEP? Because it was it was based on self-governance, we learned how to interview people and conduct processes to bring people in for the next cohort, and to establish rules of self-governance and how to settle disputes and move forward. And all of those things were totally immediately relatable to the outside world, where you're trying to be an organizer, you're trying to get stuff done, you're trying to put on events, you're trying to tackle difficult issues. So the whole structure of the program was just so awesome in terms of trying to get us to the point where we can actually do incredible things with just a few people.
When you see these pictures and you see their faces, and it feels like, oh wow, that's so 90s, but you read what they've written and you look at their coursework, and we're doing the same thing. We care about the same issues, and so many of the same topics they've tackled in year 2000 we're tackling today.
I think my favorite memory probably was graduation. Everyone is sending off each other to the future, and we all know, because in CEP, you learn in the company of others. And at graduation, I thought that was the essence of that, where we know we're going to part ways, but we all have that support system within us, and we know we have this in our life and this experience in our life, and we hold on to that and move on.
I'm here because people worked really hard to make CEP a thing 21 years ago. So that, I think, has been the most salient thing I think I've taken away from tonight, is the fact that I'm just a small piece in this.
You can stay, you don't have to leave.